What is Kentucky Home Performance? It's a residential energy efficiency program that makes homes more comfortable. It made my home 20% more efficient and lowered my utility bills. Kentucky Home Performance is perfect for HVAC replacement.
Right now, for a limited time only, financing is offered at 3.99% for a maximum 10-year term, up to $20,000. Or get a rebate up to $2,000 for eligible improvements.
To learn more and how to improve the comfort of your home, go to kyhomeperformance.org.
Hello, my name is Andrew Isaacs, and I'm with Kentucky Housing Corporation, the state housing finance agency. I'm here today to share information with you about the Kentucky Home Performance Program, which is administered by Kentucky Housing Corporation. Kentucky Home Performance is a new statewide home performance with Energy Star program designed to make single-family homes more energy efficient and comfortable. Perhaps you've heard of Energy Star, a certified building standard for new construction. Home Performance with Energy Star focuses on improving existing homes. Today we're going to lead you through a Kentucky Home Performance whole house energy evaluation and highlight some of the energy efficient retrofits recommended by the evaluation. We'll show you the home before and after the energy improvements have been made, and we'll also share how you can participate in Kentucky Home Performance and how to schedule your own whole house energy evaluation. It all starts by visiting the Kentucky Home Performance website at kyhomeperformance.org. Before we get started, let me share with you how the program works. With the Kentucky Home Performance program, a certified home evaluator will perform a home energy efficiency test and provide you with a detailed analysis of your home. Also included will be a listing of recommended energy efficient improvements that will help make your home more efficient and comfortable. Homeowners who elect to participate with improvements can receive a choice of either a rebate up to 20% of the job for eligible measures up to $2,000, or in lieu of the rebate, apply for a below market rate unsecured loan with a special rate of 3.99% for a maximum 10-year term up to $20,000. A minimum credit score of 640 is required, and terms and conditions apply. Upon completion of the work, a free quality assurance evaluation will be completed on the first 1,000 homes by an independent third party to ensure the work was completed correctly and the energy efficiency has been achieved. As a bonus, the first 1,000 homeowners participating in Kentucky Home Performance may be eligible for an additional $150 toward the cost of the whole house energy evaluation. Kentucky Home Performance has over 20 participating utility providers that may also provide rebates. State and federal tax credits and manufacturer rebates may also be available to add to your savings. Now let's get started. But remember, for more details and to take a free online home energy self-assessment or to locate a Kentucky Home Performance professional, please visit kyhomeperformance.org.
Do you want to make your home more comfortable, energy efficient, and affordable? Kentucky Home Performance helped me get a $2,000 rebate for tightening up my whole house and replacing my old furnace. Kentucky Home Performance also helped me seal drafts and add insulation, making my home more cozy, more efficient, and lowering my energy bills. Learn how you can improve the comfort and economy of your home. Go to kyhomeperformance.org.
We're here today to talk about the Kentucky Home Performance Program, which is a single-family home energy retrofit program that looks to help consumers make energy-efficient improvements to their home to make their homes more energy efficient but also more comfortable. So we are here today with Jamie Clark that is going to take us through a home and talk about some of the things that a homeowner might look at when they're making energy efficient improvements. So Jamie, why don't you talk a little bit about the particular home that we're here to look at today?
This home is an ideal home for the program because it's a relatively new house and it's very well built. Typically on an audit process, the first thing an auditor will do will be to walk around the home with the homeowner, kind of doing what we call a clipboard audit. This allows us to look for things that we're aware of that the average person may not be, but we also have a dialogue with the homeowner asking them where trouble spots are. If you've got hot and cold areas, if you've got certain drafts, that's going to help us to isolate areas where it might be a problem. After we do that, we'll typically do a walk around on the outside of the home. Wintertime is always good because you can look at your roof line and you see your neighbor may have a nice even snowpack on their roof, and you'll have little spots where there's none, and that tells us that heat's leaking out of the attic. So just overall, an experienced evaluator walks around and really takes in the entire home. After that, we would move on to a diagnostic measure like the blower door. We do the blower door, we'll put it on cruise control so it'll run while we're doing another tour through, and then we'll go room by room, closing each door off and using either a pressure gauge or just simple touch and feel as to the amount of air that's leaking under the door, or we'll crack the door open, walking around the house trying to isolate what rooms are worse than others. We'll do an inspection in the attic looking for depth of insulation. If you've got vaulted ceilings, we look at what's called the knee wall, which is the vertical attic plane, to make sure that it's well insulated and sealed. If you're on a basement, we'll look at the unfinished areas, looking where the wooden house and the concrete structure meet to make sure that those areas are air sealed. Checking for things like uninsulated can lights. They leak a lot of heat out of the home. If you're on a crawl space, we're going to look for penetrations from the conditioned space to the unconditioned space to make sure that those are air sealed, foamed. That is not only helping for your heating and cooling, but that's also indoor air quality. Air coming out of the crawl space, you'll have mold, mildew, bacteria, dust. Sealing those penetrations in the overall envelope of the home is going to make the home more efficient and much more comfortable.
Okay, so it really sounds like to me that's sort of describing a whole house energy evaluation where you're going to look at the whole house as a system. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Most homeowners are shocked when we do the blower door exam and show them how much air leakage they have. Most people wouldn't realize that 50 to 55% of the air that they're heating once an hour is leaking out of their house. That's a tremendous amount of waste.
So what that translates to is saving on your utility bills and having a more comfortable home.
Exactly. The tighter we can make your home, the longer the heat's going to stay, the less your appliances are going to run, and you're not going to have the drafts, you're not going to have the hot and cold spots. And air leakage is bringing dust and humidity, mold, mildew, microbes all along with it. So if we can look at the house as a system, we can improve not just your efficiency, but your comfort and air quality. The blower door is an exhaust fan that we're going to pressurize the home, and the fan is going to speed up to pressurize the home to the point of showing a 20-mile-an-hour simulated wind against the outside of all four walls at the same time. That's going to allow us to go through and see what we would call worst-case scenario leakage at that point. So we can go to different points like plumbing penetrations, light switches, doors and windows that may not be sealed very well, and with the fan running it's going to exaggerate the air leakage. So what it's telling me is this home, a 2,900 square foot home, is wasting almost $900 a year just in air leakage. So that's the easiest thing a home can be remedied of. Caulking, sealing, light insulation, all of those things are a very quick return on the investment.
Okay, well, let's take a look at some of the measures.
Okay, great.
So all of the measures that we're going to be talking about today are measures that are eligible under the Kentucky Home Performance Program. And why don't you tell us a little bit about this new unit and the equipment that's been installed here in the attic?
Well, the equipment is a great success story because with the improvements we're making to the insulation and air sealing, we were actually to put in about a 20% smaller unit than was in here before, which is more efficient all the way around. But being able to put in a smaller unit, it's a lower cost unit as well, it helped to pay for the insulation, so it's a dual benefit. Again, this is a less than 20-year-old home, very well built on the front end, but over the years there's been other contractors, changes made, cable TV, a new phone system, new alarm system, and what's happened is the insulation in this attic, which at the beginning would have been nice and even and consistent, you can see where it's been moved aside. There's actually none there. Under the duct changes here, they've added some can lights. They've moved all the insulation and left the can. You can actually see down into the living room from right here. A poorly installed can light can waste about 20 hours of a standard furnace runtime over the course of one winter. This house, we've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 can lights, so that's a whole lot of waste if they're not properly installed.
Okay, let's take a look at this room here. What do we have planned and what's going on here in this room right now?
Okay, right now we're about ready to cover the wall with a total air barrier. What we've done is taken the existing insulation, gone back and tucked it and pointed it where it needed to be, getting it behind the switches where it was out and around. Down and through here there's an electrical line that was running through here, and the insulation was just bowed out from behind it. That actually made it worthless. So what we did was split the bat, put half on front of the wire, half on the other. And down here at the base you see that we've used spray foam. There was no air caulking whatsoever here. When we were doing the diagnostic blower door test before, you could actually, in the finished space, feel air blowing in from underneath the baseboards. All around the perimeter of the door here, we've caulked all the joints. So now we're ready. We're going to come in, put a total sheet of Tyvek air barrier on it, and seal and tape. It's going to make this wall tremendously more comfortable. Also, around and through here, we've used caulk, not foam, because you shouldn't foam around doors because it can expand and make the door not close anymore. So we have to be careful with what we do use there.
How much R value will this add to the home and to this room?
Well, the current insulation here is an R13. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it wasn't installed very well, so it was almost worthless. So it was probably about an R3. So we've reinstalled it properly, and with the addition of the air barrier, you're going to get a true R13, but an air-sealed R13, which is much, much better.
The next part of the house we're going to look at is work that we're going to be doing in a knee wall attic, and now I know why they call it a knee wall attic here, but why don't you describe for us a little bit about what we're doing here in this portion of the home?
Okay. This was another wall into the living space that's exposed into unconditioned area. The insulation was fallen and losing. When we did the diagnostic, we were getting a ton of air coming through this wall. So we've totally re-insulated the wall, and now we're going over it with an air barrier. And then this portion here is actually the ceiling above the master bedroom and the master bathroom. And you can see there's little to no insulation there. A lot of it's been pulled out. Looks like they've gone back and added maybe some exhaust fans over the years or something. So we're actually going to blow in new insulation and bring that area up to an R40, making that room a lot more comfortable. And we're going to seal up those penetrations where the plumbing, the exhaust fan, and those 3 can lights are coming through. What we have here is an uninsulated attic hatch. You can look on the infrared camera. The hatch compared to the wall is about 11 degrees different, so that's telling us there's no insulation. You can see that the hatch doesn't sit cleanly on the opening. They've actually ran either some cable or maybe an alarm system wire through, creating an air gap there in the corner. All the way around, this is acting as a chimney in the house. This not only is leaking, but most likely is sucking the heat out of the house. Uninsulated attic hatches, one of the #1 things that we address with home performance. It's actually part of our minimum guidelines. Every home that qualifies in the program, the hatch will have to be insulated and have a lockable latch on it to keep it closed tight.
Okay, we're in the master bath on the first floor, and we're in the bathroom here to take a look at some air sealing, I believe, that needs to be done. Why don't you describe us what kind of improvements that we can make in this portion of the home?
Well, the bathroom is another example of comfort issues. Always freezing cold in the wintertime, never been comfortable. When I first did my audit, they actually had a space heater in here. We're over top of a crawl space where whirlpool tubs are fit into the wall. There's a big void underneath and around all of this. And the floor where the drain goes through, there was a real large opening into that crawl, and all they had was fiberglass insulation over it, which was the norm at the time. Well, we know that fiberglass doesn't stop air, so this is an outside wall. The crawl space has vents. Air was coming in that vent and straight up into that void. And the tub is not caulked anywhere. And you can actually here today just feel breeze coming out of the tub. And then this is underneath of that knee wall attic that we were in. And these can lights go directly up there, and they're not sealed in any way either. So we've got air blowing in down here. It's actually pushing the heat out the can, acting like a chimney. So this bathroom, we're going to make it dramatically more comfortable with some real simple measures.
Okay, we're in the closet in the master bedroom. So what have you found here in this part of the house?
Well, this is another fairly common problem. They've upgraded the power at some point and added in a new circuit breaker box. Well, when they did, in order to cut it in, they've cut a hole larger than the box so that they were able to mount it. And you can see I can actually stick my hand back in the wall here. Well, this is an outside wall, and I've got a very strong breeze coming through there. And today it's 15 degrees outside, so that's coming straight into the house. Up here at the top, the same thing. And the other panel boxes, they've done the same when they were running new wires. So we're going to go in and air seal all around the perimeter and put the box back up, and it's going to stop. Again, that's adding to the comfort problems of the master bathroom.
So this this improvement will basically address some of the air infiltration issues, but also make the home more comfortable for the consumer.
Exactly, and it's a very low-cost measure. I'm going to be able to make this room considerably more comfortable for about $5.
That's amazing.
What is KY Home Performance? Kentucky Home Performance is an energy efficiency program that makes homes more comfortable. It made my home 20% more efficient and lowered my utility bills. Kentucky Home Performance helped me get a below-market rate loan to make my home improvements possible. To improve the comfort and economy of your home and get a free online home self-energy assessment, go to kyhomeperformance.org.
Why don't you give us a quick recap of what we've done so far?
Well, to start with, we used our blower door test and some infrared cameras to go through the house and do a full energy analysis. What we determined was the house was leaking about 85% of its heat out once an hour. It also had original heating and cooling systems that were close to 20 years old, very inefficient, wasting probably 30 to 40% just in the running process aside from what it was leaking. A lot of leakage in the house, some insulation in some areas had been moved, it had fallen. There had been some changes in construction over the years. Cable TV, alarm systems, all of that got moved and displaced, so the insulation value in the attic was almost worthless at this point. So what we've done is come up with a comprehensive approach, a whole envelope look, going through the house, air sealing up the ductworks so that the duct system doesn't leak out into the unconditioned spaces. We're doubling the insulation in the attic, and we're laying it nice and even, so it's going to be much more efficient that way. We've replaced the heating and cooling system with a geothermal system, which is going to provide a warmer source of heat than before, and no outside equipment, so there's no noise, and the geo system should last twice as long as a conventional. Overall, we're expecting this homeowner to save, somewhere in the 50 to 70% compared to where they were when we walked in.
So all of these items are eligible under the Kentucky Home Performance Program?
Correct, and several of them are minimum requirements by the program. We have to make sure the insulation is at a certain rate. We have to make sure that the home is not leaking more than 40% of its air once an hour, and we can only test that with a blower door.
Well, the interesting thing about this particular home that we're looking at is it's less than 20 years old, but the home actually has a lot of room for improvement. And when you're driving through a neighborhood and you see very nice homes, homes with beautiful finish work like this one, you wouldn't think that they would be high in using a lot of energy, but there's a lot of room for improvements. And part of what's happened in the last 15 to 20 years has been the advancement of building sciences. And so do you want to kind of comment on the building sciences?
Absolutely. I've been in construction my whole life, and I'll tell you that I've learned more in the last year through the training provided by Kentucky Home Performance and the Building Performance Institute on things that in a lot of ways make common sense, but as a construction professional, you didn't know till you didn't know. And a lot of your really good home builders, that are building a very quality structure, they don't realize the science behind it, and we're able to go into an existing home, not even 20 years of age, and make significant improvements. And a lot of times, they're inexpensive improvements. Caulk is cheap, insulating is cheap. It's very easy to apply these things to make the home all the way around more efficient and comfort. One of the big issues that the homeowner expressed to me when we first walked through this house was it was drafty. They had a lot of hot and cold spots depending on what time of year it was, and there were certain areas of the house you could literally feel a breeze. That was because of leakage. A home that's well insulated and airtight should not have a lot of drafts or hot and cold spots, and by sealing up those leaks, we're going to make the home more comfortable. And those air leaks are also bringing in dust, pollen, mold, mildew, so we're going to make it a lot healthier environment as well.
You mentioned about the homeowner. Why don't we go ahead and meet the homeowner now, if we could, for this beautiful home that we're in today. And this is First Lady Jane Bashir.
I'm delighted to be here, and as was mentioned, our concern about this house was being uncomfortable and the utility bills. And when I learned of this program and participated in some of the events with this program and knew that it was available to everybody in this state, I decided that I too would find out what my house was all about, and I do believe in leading by example, so I'm looking forward to a much more efficient house.
The great thing about the home performance program is that there's no minimum or maximum income limits. So anyone, whether you're, a small home or I'm working on a home right now that's 10,000 square feet, and they're going to qualify for it. So efficiency is for everybody.
The way that folks can get involved with Kentucky Home Performance is going to our website, which is KentuckyHomePerformance.org, and the consumers can either take a free online self-assessment that will then allow them to select a contractor that serves their community and their county, or they can simply use an interactive map that we have on the website to find a contractor that will come and do a whole house energy evaluation, which is what Jamie has done on the Bashir's home, to come in and immediately try to determine the areas of improvement.
I was very amazed at the amount of energy that we were losing in this house. And just as an educational tool, to be able to go through this audit and find the parts of your house that you can't imagine are the biggest cause of the losses of energy. So we look forward to lower utility bills, and we look forward to more comfort in our home.
Do you want to make your home more comfortable, energy efficient, and affordable? Kentucky Home Performance helped me get a $2,000 rebate for tightening up my whole house and replacing my old furnace. Kentucky Home Performance also helped me seal drafts and add insulation, making my home more cozy, more efficient, and lowering my energy bills. Learn how you can improve the comfort and economy of your home. Go to kyhomeperformance.org.
It's caulked all the way around the perimeter, and then we've also taped and sealed. And we're going to do something similar over here to this back wall, completely sealing that off. And then any of the joints, anything down through here, you see the foam, the drywall was exposed here, so there was no thermal barrier at all. We've gone through and put the foam board completely sealed around the perimeter. We're sealed around the electrical penetration. We've got the Tyvek. We use the cat nails because that gives it a good seal and it won't tear back off. You use staples, especially in a room like this, it'll get torn. We've actually insulated behind the light switch, which before it was around the light switch. And then we've siliconed all the way around the perimeter of that. And we're Tyvek taping. All the joints in the wood were sealed. All this down through here was sealed. This is actually spray foamed because there was a gap between this floor and the wall in there, and we use the expanding foam like this to fill that gap up, so that's going to make a big difference. That door has almost no R value, and there's no insulation on top of it or anything, so we're going to come back in with a new door. We're going to foam around the perimeter, and it's actually going to have a latch so that it'll close tight. And then on top of the door, we're going to glue the blue board, that foam board, and we'll probably end up at about 4 inches thick to insulate that.
So how much will the R value increase in the attic for the most part?
My goal is to get it to R40. Right now, if you just measure the depth of their standard insulation, they're at about an R19. But because of distribution and several voids and other things,
it down.
Probably maybe an R5.
Yeah.
And the thing with insulation is if it's not consistent, it kills its insulation value. Because I don't care if you have 2 feet of insulation here, if you have none here, well, the heat just goes out there. Yeah. So if you don't have, ideally what we want is about 15 to 20 inches consistently through the entire attic.
What is Kentucky Home Performance? It's a residential energy efficiency program that makes homes more comfortable. It made my home 20% more efficient and lowered my utility bills. Kentucky Home Performance is perfect for HVAC replacement.
Right now, for a limited time only, financing is offered at 3.99% for a maximum 10-year term, up to $20,000. Or get a rebate up to $2,000 for eligible improvements.
To learn more and how to improve the comfort of your home, go to kyhomeperformance.org.
Hello, and thank you again for your interest in the Kentucky Home Performance Program. To demonstrate portions of the whole house energy evaluation, we have just taken you on a home tour, and we've highlighted some of the suggested energy efficient measures with a focus on air leakage and duct sealing and insulation. Now, we would like to show you how to get started in Kentucky Home Performance, how to conduct a free energy evaluation on your home, and how to locate and select a Kentucky Home Performance professional. To get started, please visit the website at kyhomeperformance.org and click on the free energy self-assessment. In preparation, you will need to obtain the last 12 months of your utility bills. Links to energy providers are listed on the webpage for many of the utility companies throughout the state. Some energy providers allow you to request your past utility bills online, or the link will provide contact information. Once you have obtained your utility consumption information, you can begin the self-assessment. You will enter very basic data, create a passcode, create a new account, and then proceed as directed. Upon completion of the self-assessment, you can send a request for a Kentucky Home Performance professional to contact you about your home and to schedule a total whole house energy evaluation. If you prefer, you may simply contact a Kentucky Home Performance professional directly to get started. From the home page, simply click the link titled Find a Provider. An interactive map of the state shows you each county. Simply toggle over the map to find your county. Once you select your county, you will find a list of Kentucky Home Performance professionals. There are 3 types of Kentucky Home Performance professionals. The first is a certified contractor evaluator. A certified contractor evaluator can do the whole house evaluation and install energy efficient improvements. The second Kentucky Home Performance professional is a certified evaluator. Certified evaluators will perform the home evaluation. They serve as an independent third party and will update your Kentucky Home Performance file when the work has been completed. When a certified evaluator conducts the whole house energy evaluation, you are then free to choose a Kentucky Home Performance approved installer to complete the installations. Approved installers complete improvements such as insulation, air sealing, HVAC, window installations, and other eligible measures. 2 key points to remember. First, only a Kentucky Home Performance Certified Contractor Evaluator or Kentucky Home Performance Certified Evaluator can complete the whole house evaluation, which is commonly referred to as a test-in. Second, all work must be completed by a Kentucky Home Performance approved installer. To review how to get started with Kentucky Home Performance, it all begins with a visit to kyhomeperformance.org. The homeowner either completes a home energy self-assessment or chooses a Kentucky Home Performance professional to schedule a whole house comprehensive energy evaluation. After the evaluation has been completed, the homeowner will know if their home already meets the Kentucky Home Performance Program minimum guidelines or is provided with a list of improvements that can include minimum program requirements along with additional measures identified in the evaluation. The homeowner will then select the measures they would like to proceed with. Get pre-approved for the Kentucky Home Performance rebate or loan before the work begins. Terms and conditions apply. The contractor will complete the installation and conduct a test out on the home to measure the modeled and estimated energy efficient improvements. Next, the contractor will then request the third-party quality assurance inspection from Kentucky Home Performance that is free to the first 1,000 homes that participate in the program. Once the quality assurance inspection has been completed and the home meets the minimum program guidelines, the homeowner will sign off on the work and the rebate will be processed or the Kentucky Home Performance loan funded. Thank you for your time today and for your interest in the Kentucky Home Performance program. Kentucky Home Performance is an Energy Star program that is administered by Kentucky Housing Corporation. Kentucky Home Performance will help make your home more energy efficient and comfortable.